Hey folks, everything new under the sun. Revelation 6 describes seals of judgment that come upon the earth. One of those seals speaks to famine, and I will submit to you that what we see are the early stages of famine around the world, and I'll produce one article to look at for the U.S. specifically. So Revelation 6 speaks of seals being opened. It says, verse 1, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, a noise of thunder, one of the beasts saying, 'Come and see.' And behold, a great white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." And it goes through the second seal and the third seal. Look at this one. "And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, 'Come and see.' And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, 'A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.'" So it speaks of, let's go continue on. "And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, 'Come and see.' And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed. And power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth." So we see famine spoken of here. We see death and hunger related to the seal judgments coming out. Now, there are some suggest that we are already in the midst of the seal judgments. I don't believe so. I think when they're happening, we'll know. I think what we can say, though, is that if we are that close, then we should see the world kind of moving towards that certain position of economic collapse, of lack of food, of disaster, ecological disaster. And I think we see that with the flooding in the U.S. as an example. It's so extensive. And this is from Reuters.com, Reuters, however you want to pronounce that. U.S. disaster aid won't cover crops drowned by Midwest floods. And these are the worst floods in the history of the U.S. so far as I've been reading. It says the Black Hawk military helicopter flew over Iowa, giving a senior U.S. agricultural official and U.S. senator an eyeful of the flood damage below, where yellow corn from ruptured metal silos spilled out. And so this is a particular video here. Let me go see if I can pull it to the spot of the droughts here. And it's not gonna let me do it. All right, so here's some of the floods ruining the Midwest. If we skip ahead, you can see grain silos in the back that are ruptured due to all the water, etc. around. There you can see a browned out, blacked out image of the grain silos, just completely collapsed. All that grain is absolutely ruined. It will go moldy in days from the flooding, and it's unrecoverable. And there is no U.S. assistance for this now. There is nothing the U.S. government can do about millions of bushels of damaged crops under the current laws or disaster aid programs. U.S. agriculture Undersecretary Bill Northey told Reuters. The USDA has no mechanism to compensate farmers for damaged crops in storage, he says. A problem never before seen on this scale. So never before seen. That's in part because U.S. farmers have never stored so much of their harvests after years of oversupplied markets, low prices, and the latest blow of lost sales from U.S. trade war with China, previously the biggest buyer of soybeans. It said, there is no program to cover the catastrophic and largely uninsured stored crop losses. So they had all these things stored up. They were waiting for good times to sell the crops again. And this is all lost now. They have lost millions. There's going to be bankruptcies. Not only that, but there's going to be skyrocketing food prices. U.S. is going to have to import potentially food here. And this leads to a place of famine. We're not there yet. This is the early stages, and if we are that close to the seal judgments, I would suggest to you that this is the precursor. This is what we would expect to see happening prior to the actual emergency event, which is the actual famine taking place. This is the precursor event, and this is flooding of biblical proportions. There's a still image of the grain silos burst open, full of water, and the silos are wrecked, let alone the stuff inside them. And if the silos are not broken, the storage, the contents of those grain bins are destroyed anyways, because the water, these are not waterproof silos. They expect these to be high and dry. So this is going to lead to what I think is a famine. They're going to throw away. They're not going to have seeds to replant for next year. And this is not the disaster. I think the disaster is really coming over the next year, when they can't produce crops, when the soil's not dried out, and skyrocketing food prices will mean that people simply can't eat these things, and that's going to cause food prices all around the world even to increase, and all types of food to increase as well. As people can't buy grains anymore, they'll be buying other foods, vegetables, etc. And so there'll be a demand and a lack of supply for all things in the food economy, and that will, I think, be a precursor to really what's spoken of in Revelation 6, the sealed judgments, where people are starving, where food is expensive, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny. And also the verse 8 here, power was given unto them over a fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and that hunger is famine there, and so a fourth part of the earth is going to be fourth part of the people of the earth are going to be killed with hunger, and with these other items listed here. So that's just a look at scriptures and a look at Bible prophecy, and I think it means, if we are that close, like I've always been suggesting, then that would suggest that we are in the early stages of all these seals really coming into focus here, and then they will come down in strength when the fulfillment of time occurs, when the Lord deems that time. The time is fulfilled of the Gentiles, and then we move into the wrath of God in the second half of the 7-year tribulation. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll leave it there. We'll see you guys in the next video.